Welcome back to Monday Night Quarterbacks. I'm Anthony Gianelli.
I'm Josh J. Fresh Minahan.
Yeah, I'm Xander Munson.
And it is officially October, which means fall, Halloween, of course, and football, of course, because we are now in the full swing of college football, high school football, of course, but of course the NFL. And might as well go ahead and get into the NFL, you know?
Absolutely. We had a good week this week.
Very good week. I think, honestly, to start it off, Thursday night game, it's going to go down as a legendary game, especially for Mac Jones, being a backup quarterback and just able to take his team against a very, very tough Rams and take away the win. And it was surprising for me.
Yeah, and that came down to the wire, too. It goes into overtime.
Yep.
And a crucial fumble at the end of the game by Kyron Williams. And you hear Sean McVay talk about it. He takes full accountability of it, which in that situation, yeah, it's short yardage distance. I can understand why you run for it, but it doesn't help when you fumble it.
No, and right now, Kyron is literally leading the league since he has came in fumbles on running backs. He has 8, I do believe, since he has entered the league, which, especially for the play time with as much as he missed last season, he is leading the league with fumbles. And not only that, Corum also fumbled that ball earlier in the game on a goal line, and it's unfortunate, especially because I'm a huge Matthew Stafford fan myself. I really wanted them to kind of beat the 49ers.
Yeah.
But Mac Jones, I mean, like I said, and I was telling you guys earlier, I have never seen a quarterback literally give everything to the point to where he is being helped off the field at the end of the game by his teammates because he's about to pass out.
Yeah.
I mean, that is giving everything to the game, and I mean, he deserved the win. He did. So hats off to them. I think there's a lot of great games this week, but that standed out to me. I mean, put the tone for the week. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. And speaking of games, we had both of the remaining undefeated teams fall this week.
Yep.
You have the Buffalo Bills falling to the New England Patriots in Drake May. And then you have the Philadelphia Eagles. They lose. You know, I saw someone say on the internet, you know, with the Bills uniforms, I smelt in May. So it's a pretty clever one there.
No, that's pretty good. But on those notes, my big thing was the Eagles game.
Yeah.
Because the Eagles come out, railroaded the Broncos. I mean, up 17-3, I believe it was, or something like that. And then out of nowhere, here comes the Denver defense and Bo Nix offense. And Bo Nix able to drive downfield twice with 2 great drives, get them back into contention. And then I was blown away when they ended up being able to seal the deal. And I mean, literally keep the Eagles from scoring the entire second half.
Yeah.
That was amazing.
And that's been a trend with the Eagles the last couple of weeks is they've been able to get a lead. And then just the last half of the games, they just haven't been able to sustain that.
No, it has. And that even with the Chiefs game, second game of the season, the Chiefs were able to come back the second half and hold them the whole time. They just weren't able to finish the game. And it kind of shows, and I know there's a lot of animosity right now going on, especially on the wide receiver side of things. I know A.J. Brown and Smith have both expressed their discomfort with the way that the O-line is being able to, they say, protect Saquon and Jalen Hurts, but also at the same time, you look at it, and this last week, Saquon had the least amount of touches that he's had all season in a game, and they lost.
Yeah.
So
and for A.J. Brown, it's a thing where it's like you're always going to have that wide receiver one kind of like diva attitude, but at the same time, you can't really be complaining about, you know, your lack of catches when you're consistently being targeted and you're just not coming down with the ball.
No, when you're a wide receiver one, you have to change your stuff up every week because they're watching the film on you. If you're Jamar Chase, if you're Jay Jetta, I mean, you look at Amon-Ra last year, he was pretty quiet most of the year because he was locked up, but you didn't hear him complaining.
No.
It's a team.
And that's what pretty much describes a really good wide receiver. Like every week you ball out and all that stuff, but then you got to think about next week, like, okay, they're going to see that on film. How am I going to,
change your stuff? Yeah.
Like what kind of steps do I want to do? What kind of routes do I want to start running more or anything like that? You'll always got to change your game plan. It's the same like with any position, like quarterback, corner, linebacker, offensive line, defensive line, whatever you call it.
Well, and you can go to your Texans game. Yep. CJ Stroud, obviously, and I will say, I thought the first 3 games this season, he just was playing C-level football for a quarterback.
Yep.
But this last game, he was on fire. He had a great game. Your Texans defense, they have been there all year, and they just finally got that offense cooking. You guys walked away with an amazing win. Don't get me wrong. It's a Lamar Jackson-less Ravens, but that doesn't mean anything.
Well, I was about to say, like, you can be without your great quarterback, but you could still play good.
Yes.
But they had like Cooper Rush, which, to be fair, last year we did handle him pretty well in that Cowboys game, but he was still playing good.
But like we said, Mac Jones was back up.
Yeah.
Mac Jones is getting paid $7 million for this year, and Brock Purdy's what, $240 million for however many years his was. I'm just saying, like, it's always that confidence of a team being able to play as a team. Next man up, next man up, next man up, and that's the downfall right now for the Ravens. Is the next man up is not able to get it done.
And I know the Ravens defense wasn't that good, to be fair. Like they haven't done really good against the Bills, the Chiefs, even against the Browns.
What was it you were saying before when we were talking before? Where are they? They're
the worst defense fantasy wise.
I could see that.
They've only had one game where they've scored above 0, and they went off with 18 points. But other than that, they've scored negative points, and then last 2 games they've scored 0. So not looking good if you're the Ravens defense.
No, and especially with what you're used to coming from the Ravens in the past years.
Yeah.
So I guess we want to hit on the Bills real quick. I mean, the Patriots, again, their defense doing the same thing that I think a lot of teams' defenses that are winning right now. I mean, like I said, Ravens winning this weekend. You look at, again, the Patriots, and then the Panthers.
Yeah.
Their defense ended up standing up and because Dolphins got out to an early lead.
Yeah, they got out to an early.
No, I'm saying, what I mean is, like, their defense is not clicking, and that's what's making them lose these games. Is because all these teams that are winning this week, their defense stood up.
Yeah.
Even with the Saints against the Giants.
And that's why I wasn't.
It's a defense.
And that's why I wasn't really, because like obviously my team, the Texans, they started on 3. Like, yeah, it's bad, but like I wasn't freaking out because I saw how the scores were, and they're like, all close, and they're like, and it's like, so I'm not worried about
manageable games.
Yeah,
all of them manageable.
Because like I was thinking, O-line, they have not been playing that well this year, and they need to start. I can't remember his name, but I know they signed someone off the practice squad to the startup, and I think that's what kind of helped in this game. But O-line's got to definitely play better, and I think it's also going to be on the offensive coordinator, which is, I believe, different than Bobby Slowick this year. Well, it's not Bobby Slowick; it was last year.
Right.
Like, it's a different offensive coordinator this year, so I think they're trying to figure that out somewhat.
Oh no, that's always going to be an issue. And I mean, like, you look at anything. I mean, whether you've got Matt Nagy, like when he left Kansas City and became a head coach in Chicago, and then comes back to Kansas City. Yeah, he's played with Kansas City, and he probably played with a handful of these guys because he was only gone for 2 years in Chicago. Mm-hmm. It was still such a growing pain when he came back, converting back over to his scheme, even though most of these guys had already played it before in their career.
Yeah.
So just that change. And again, but we've seen it. Now you guys are what, 2-3?
Yep.
You've
won
won
in a bye. And we have the Seahawks, not this week, but next week on Monday Night Football. So that's going to be pretty fun to see.
Is there a timetable yet on Tank Dell coming back?
Not full. I think it's going to be sometime this season from the sounds of it.
I've heard this season. I was just hoping it was going to come because I know they haven't made any trades. So I figured it'd come around that point.
I don't think we'll need to do anything about wide receiver rights because both the rookies that we drafted from Iowa State, they're balling out right now.
I was going to say, CJ Stroud got those 2 involved last game.
Jalen Noel and Xavier Hutchinson have been balling the past couple weeks, in my opinion. At least this past week, too.
I expected it from Jalen Knowles. A little late coming. I expected him to actually be a standout right off the rip, but
it does help bring off pressure off of Nico because, if you look back at the past couple of seasons, we had Tank, but then Nico, especially when he got drafted, Nico was getting most of the attention, obviously, because of how good he's been doing.
Yep.
So it was kind of nice to see the pressure getting off of Nico a bit, and then having to get Jalen Noel and Xavier Hutchinson involved and all that stuff. So I'm not too worried.
Definitely.
Yeah. And to touch on what you were saying earlier with the Panthers, they like you said, the Dolphins got out to an early lead.
I thought Dolphins were going to get it.
Yeah. Tua with 3 touchdowns, but then they just could not get anything going on the ground. Yep. The Panthers defense held them to 14 carries for 19 yards.
Well, it's again, you come to one of these things like we've talked multiple times about, when you're struggling and you bring in, whether it's James Cook off the bench for the Buffalo or something like that, that's where Buffalo had problems last night.
Yeah.
The moment Devon Achane comes off the bench for the Miami, your Panthers know what you're doing. You're going to run that ball. You're going to run that ball. Just like with Buffalo and James Cook. If James Cook's coming on the field, he's getting the ball.
Yeah.
He's got a 75% chance of getting that ball. So what is your D-line going to do? Stop that.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And that's exactly what the Panthers did. Held him to 10 carries for
Exactly.
16 yards. Now, on the flip side for the Panthers, they were able to run that rock.
No, they did.
Rico Dowdle with over 200 yards and a touchdown.
Backup Rico Dowdle also. I mean, you got to look at it that way. I mean, he sat back up last year for Dallas.
Yeah.
Back up this year behind Chuba Hubbard. And now he finally gets the spotlight. I said it last year. He's going to be a standout running back. And if he doesn't end up with the starting position by the end of the year with the Panthers, he'll be going somewhere else because someone else needs that guy.
Yeah, I mean, it's the same thing with Deontay Foreman. When we had him a couple of years ago, he went crazy for like, I think, a 2-3 game stretch. And, you know, we had Chuba come back, so he goes elsewhere.
Yeah, exactly. No, that was great. I mean, again, a lot of teams, because I know I was feeling it with Chiefs finally beating the Ravens the last week, finally getting, because I know all our teams have been struggling. Yeah. So it's nice for all of us to feel a couple wins here.
Good.
Yeah.
A step forward.
Yeah.
Your team's got a game tonight against Jacksonville away at their stadium. So how do you think that'll go tonight?
So, and that's one of the things that I talk about with people. You'd be surprised. People are like, Jags, man, they're 3-1.
They are
3-1. Granted, a lot of the teams they have played have not been, in most people's eyes, a top-tier team.
Ouch.
That being said, I think you're one of them too, are you? But that's what I said in the first place, is that when you're coming down to this team right here, the defense is very, very efficient, if you will, for the Jags. They don't leave big plays. You get small dinker-doinkers here, so you can game manage a win, but it's a hard win.
Yeah.
So I think where a lot of people are looking at tonight and they're like, it's an easy win for Kansas City. They're going to walk away with, what is it, third win in a row, whatever. I'm not at that yet.
It'll be a close game.
I think it will.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a real close game, and I think it's going to be a low-scoring game because it's going to come down to, again, the defenses, which is what I've been saying. And Chiefs defense is one of the number one defenses in the league right now, I do believe. Top 5, I know that for sure. So, yeah, I think it's going to come down to that, and can they keep Trevor Lawrence running?
Yeah.
That's the big thing.
Either contained or not running, basically. But I know what you mean.
Yeah.
But you know what this thing is? Defense wins championships.
I agree with that. And they said
does.
that's what old people say. Well, I'm telling you, that's because we've watched enough seasons of football where it's like, if I can score on you left and right, it doesn't matter how well you can throw the ball or not. It comes down to being able to stop it. Just one.
Yep.
We've seen that multiple times, like especially like that one Super Bowl with the Seahawks in New England. It came down to that last play until Malcolm Butler intercepted that ball, pretty much.
We'll just skip on the fact
that's a good example for you.
It is. We'll skip on the fact you have the number one running back and don't give it to him on the goal line. But
I
will say, speaking of scary things, this weekend, college football had a lot of upsets.
It did. My team for
so
one.
many upsets this year. Oh my God.
I'll be one. I don't think anybody saw Cincinnati losing or winning against Iowa State. Yes.
I will say Brendan Sorsby, ever since Nebraska played him, he's been balling out.
He has been.
He has multiple touchdowns. I don't think he has an interception since that game.
That's crazy.
And
at a collegiate level, that's crazy.
Yeah.
And if you if you were watching the beginning of that game, the beginning of it, they were running away with it basically. Now Iowa State, they were trying to come back and comeback victory.
And granted, for Iowa State, they were dealing with a lot of injuries. They had their top 2 or 3 DBs. They were out. They have a freshman walk-on kicker because Kyle Cunanan was injured. So you're dealing with a lot of lack of depth at that defense. But props to Iowa State for staying in it.
No, they definitely stayed in it and come back. That was my big thing. Again, if you watch the game, Cincinnati coming out so fast, so many points right off the rip, and Iowa State literally deer in headlights look at that point.
Yeah.
But able to bring it back, and it was literally right there, but that deep ball by Cincinnati, and like you said, their quarterback has been balling out, and I can't take anything away from it. I'm not upset. We're 4-1. We're still winning. So, I mean, 4-1, I'll take that. I know another team that's 4-1, but they got the win this weekend.
Yeah.
And that'd be your guys' Huskers against Michigan State. Great game by the Huskers, by the way.
That was a very good win. It was a little scary. I will admit, going into that fourth quarter.
The second, the first half of the third quarter was scary indeed.
Yeah. So it was at the beginning, fireworks going off early. We get a nice little trick play. Heinrich Harburg involved in the game. Emmett Johnson, he gets a rushing touchdown. And then on Mike Eckler's birthday, special teams gets that block punt.
His special teams balled out this game, and I think that's a
Yes.
little treat for his birthday. I
It
think.
was. Jameer Khan with the block, Carter Nelson with the recovery. But then, all of a sudden, Michigan State, they scored 21 unanswered points.
Yes, they did.
Not to
Yes,
mention,
they did.
they sacked Rayola 3 times in one drive.
Yes,
And-
the O-line for Nebraska still is lacking in that department. I'm hoping we get that figured out because if we continue to struggle in that department, the Big Ten is going to be scary.
Well, I mean, it's always going to be scary, especially when you're playing in competition like that. You know, you're in your field. But the thing is, like, you don't want your quarterback taking 3 sacks in a game,
No, that's not
let
a good
alone
look.
on one drive.
That's
Yeah.
not a good
You
look
can't-
for any team to be like that too.
Well,
Like,
you go up, and don't get me wrong, we'll get into Penn State here in just a second. But
Oh, yeah.
even going up into Penn State later or Iowa, you want to have Rayola 90%, 90. You know, like you don't
Yeah.
want him out there already favoring an ankle injury,
Mhm.
bicep tear.
That wear and tear.
Yeah, exactly. Because you want to be able to compete against these teams. And right now, like you're saying, even with this struggling O-line, I think your biggest thing right now is Rayola and the way
Yeah.
he's playing.
The way that he's playing with how the O-line is performing is incredible. You know, he
Yeah.
went against Michigan, 300 yards and 3 touchdowns. He got sacked 7 times.
Yes.
This week, it was a windy game out there, so not the biggest throwing game, but he still throws for almost 200 yards.
Mhm.
And so just having him being able to go out there and still perform at a high level is huge. But I will give props to Aiden Childs. Not the biggest pass performance, obviously, very windy game. He had 2 rushing touchdowns in the first half,
he figured
Oh,
it
wow.
out.
and that was what brought them back in the first place.
And there was
Tied
that-
21 at the half.
Yeah, there was that one throw. I think it was like his last interception he made. He was trying to throw a check down to like his receiver or something.
Yep.
But overthrows him straight into who was it? Singleton.
Yeah, Deshaun Singleton had 2 picks in this game.
Wow.
What a game for
And
Singleton.
he won the Big Ten Defensive Player of the
As-
week.
Oh,
as
week?
he
He
should.
did get the week?
Yes.
Oh, nice.
As
so-
he should.
Big
Nice.
performance from him, but I will give the wind a little bit of the doubt for Aiden Childs, just because the position that they were in, wind's at your back. You're
Right.
trying to throw a little check down, that wind's going to carry it.
It is.
So
His-
sailing over his head, it's an unfortunate pick, but it is what it is.
No, yeah.
But
His
Aiden
backup though was playing pretty good.
He
I
did.
I can't say his name for the heck of it. But
Yeah,
his
I'm not even
back-
gonna try to pronounce his last name.
I watched the game and I was trying to pronounce it. I'm like, I don't know.
But I will say Nebraska's defense, beginning of the year, it looked fine, and then Michigan. That was the huge fault. Allowing 300 yards on the ground.
It was, but I told you, I said Michigan's going to be your guys' test.
Yes.
You've had 3 games where they're kind of, and don't get me wrong, Cincy now is obviously a formidable team, but first game of the year, I planned you guys on winning that one as well.
Yeah.
I said if you guys lose by 3, I'd consider it a win.
Yeah.
Michigan's a tough team. You guys kept competitive
and-
the whole time.
It was
30 to
still a close
27.
game. So
Yeah.
like, and we
And
were kind
I
of.
will say, for the way that we played in that, for me, being able to only come out of that losing by 3, that was a win
That's a
because
win.
Oh, yeah.
it felt like a 40-10 game.
And Michigan's also a dangerous team too. Not to mention, obviously, still a top Big Ten team. So like,
Yeah, they've got-
obviously,
They've got the number 1 overall player from this recent class, Bryce Underwood,
which
and
he's
then you've got
quite
one
good.
of the best running backs in the nation, Justice Haynes.
Yep.
So, I mean, we already know that the defense is good, just not great with Huskers. So, I mean, you can't be upset. Yes, they put up, a lot of yardage,
Yeah.
but at the same time, you kept it right at their heels the whole time.
Yeah, and I will say this weekend we definitely improved from Michigan. Held their run game way down.
Definitely.
I was about to say, I think it was a wake up call for the defense.
it was.
Yeah.
It was. You're exactly right. It was but that's what you guys needed.
Exactly.
Wouldn't you rather have it now than at the end of the season? You'd rather already have that wake up call, so that way when Penn State, if they're still Penn State,
I was
We'll
about to
see.
say,
we'll get into that. But I'm just saying, if they do go back to being Penn State for the rest of the season, you want to have that wake up call now
Yeah.
rather than 2 quarters into the Penn State game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And I will
Speaking-
say,
yeah.
before that, I will say our pass defense has been on fire.
Yeah.
We haven't had a single quarterback throw for over 100 yards yet, including Bryce Underwood. Pretty sure. But the rankings just updated, and Nebraska has the #1 pass defense in the nation.
Nice.
So if we get that rush defense up, then our defense is going to be back to where it was.
Yeah, we'll see. I know the next game is an away game. Oh my God, an away game for the first time.
Yeah.
What's your next game for Huskers?
It's at Maryland.
Oh, that is a tough one.
Yeah, it's going to be at Maryland. They've got a very solid freshman quarterback, Malik Washington.
For a freshman, he's actually playing decent. He had a couple losses. I know he didn't.
Yeah, their most recent game, they were leading Washington, and they ended up choking it to Washington in the fourth quarter. But I will.
That never wants to happen.
Yeah. Before we move on from this, I do want to say Emma Johnson, hat trick.
Oh, really?
And, yeah, 3 touchdowns, improves his total to 7 touchdowns on the year. And Isaiah Hunter, his house call in the fourth quarter, 1 shoe, 59 yards to the house.
Hey, man.
So, hey.
You don't got to have shoes to run.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You just got to have that speed.
No, and that's all. Again, it's just fun to see teams doing well, especially when they're your teams you love to enjoy. And we're all doing pretty good this week, I think. The one team that I do got to bring up before we get off that didn't do too well this week, I would say that's Penn State losing to a very sad and sorry UCLA.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong.
Don't get me wrong.
It's fun to see it.
Yeah, 0-4 coming into this game. They had to scrounge around to get their coaching staff together.
Yep.
But all of a sudden, you have the hero of the day, Jared. I got to get his name correctly.
Yeah, I can't say the last name. You're doing better than me at it.
Oh, let's see. Former UCLA quarterback, mind you, from 2012 to 2015, Jerry Neuheisel.
Neuheisel.
Yeah,
Okay.
he steps into the role, and before this game, he had never used the communication device. That coach to player radio communications.
Yeah.
First time using it, he said that a couple of those play calls, he couldn't communicate with Nico. So those were his calls.
Oh, really?
But Nico Imaliava, he finally looks good. He looks like that 5-star player coming out of high school. Totals for 5 touchdowns. Penn State,
here's the question, though. Granted, like we all talk about, it is UCLA. They're rough. What part of this is Penn State thinking this was an easy game? This was going to be a walk away. We don't need to practice for it. This is going to be our break during the season without a break.
Yeah, especially coming off of a really tough loss against Oregon, where you have your whiteout atmosphere. You take it, you're down in the fourth quarter, 17-3.
Right.
You bring it to overtime, bring it to double overtime, and Drew Aller underthrows his receiver. It's a pick for Dylan Thieneman. So you have that first loss on your record at home. So you're trying to get back at it. And then you go on the road to UCLA, 0-4 on the year.
You're thinking it's a walk-away win.
And then all of a sudden, you're down in the fourth quarter.
They come to play, man.
Yeah.
That was crazy. No, hats off to that. I will say this. One side note about the NFL, Adrian Martinez actually got to see the sidelines in the gear.
He did.
Ex-Husker quarterback for the Niners. But Mac Jones, again, with that attitude, didn't let him on the field. But maybe. I mean, we don't know what next week brings for the 49ers. What else do you guys got to bring up, before the end of the game?
The AP Top 25, they did unrank both Penn State and also Texas.
Really?
With both of them suffering their second loss. Yeah. Texas going to the Swamp. Very tough atmosphere.
Yep. Always.
They just released their, new AP Top 10 or Top 25. Ohio State, obviously number 1.
Yep.
Miami jumps Oregon because Oregon had their bye week.
Right.
Miami played a decent Florida State team.
Yeah.
You have Ole Miss, who had that great win over LSU. Texas A&M, they're winning football games. Oklahoma, who we'll see against the Red River rivalry against Texas, how they look, especially without John Mateer. Because him as the Heisman frontrunner when he was playing. You have their backup QB, who's been there for 3 years now.
Finally getting his chance.
Yeah. I can't remember his name, but he was the starter, Michael Hawkins.
Okay.
He was sharing reps a couple of years ago. But then, bring in John Mateer, and we'll see what happens there. Okay. But then you've also got Indiana. They're playing ball. They play Oregon next. That's going to be college game day.
Oh, yeah.
Where do they have ISU slated right now?
Iowa State is still in the top 20.
They are.
I
didn't know if they fell out of the top 20. I know they're still ranked, but
they're still in the top 25. Okay. Then you got Alabama with the big one over Vanderbilt. That's a very good Vanderbilt squad. Yeah. They got the win at home.
Got the revenge they needed from last year.
Yeah. You got Texas Tech at number 9. That's a really good squad over there in the Big 12. That
Okay.
could be a contender for the Big 12. And then you got Georgia back into the top 10.
Nice.
I was surprising that Georgia fell out of the top 10. I expected them to stay up there, but I will say the no surprise for me is the Ohio State. The
Yeah.
Buckeyes, those guys
They've
are
been-
just
they've been
nasty.
Mm-hmm.
Nasty last year, nasty this year.
And that defense is still top tier.
And I will say this, anybody who does watch this afterwards, I know next will be in 2 weeks when we go live again. We should almost be back with NBA at that point. So
Mhm.
we'll have some more to talk about. I know preseason started last night or the night before. I know my Golden State Warriors got the win over the Lakers. Really good playing time. Great stats for everybody. I know we got Al Horford. Yeah. He looked good. And then also we picked up, again, Steph getting to play with his brother Seth Curry finally for at least one season in the NBA. So hats off to those guys. I know your Rockets are going to be nasty this year. What is your team for the NBA? Do you got one?
I don't really have one. I used to be a Warriors fan, but I'm kind of off and on with them.
Okay.
I've kind of fallen off of the NBA. I've really just focused more on the college football.
All right. We'll call you a Trailblazers fan. But yeah, no, those Rockets are going to be nasty this year.
I still don't understand why we traded Jalen Green though, or Jaden Green.
Yeah, I think it was his inconsistency in the playoffs last
Mhm.
year.
I
Yeah.
still don't get it.
I'm with you. You
He's
got to let
such
him
a young
build.
player, and we drafted him back in what 22? I think it was 22.
Yep.
It was like 22 or 23. But like
He's
we
young.
drafted him not
Yeah.
too long ago. And it's like we're trading him now.
Yeah.
Like I get it. We got Kevin Durant. Sweet.
Yeah.
I'll take it. But it's like
I will say
Why?
before we get out of here, we do have some high school news.
ooh,
The Millard South Star 4-star quarterback Jet Tamala, he was committed to Iowa State earlier, and then he flips his commitment to Alabama.
Yep.
He has officially shut down his recruitment, so he
I
is
think that
going to the
means-
Tide.
Oh, it's for
I
sure.
think that's
If
the
we're
first
done.
time
Okay.
we're seeing a top player in the Omaha area go to a school like that, like Alabama. Like I think the last time we saw somebody like that go, Xavier Watts to Notre Dame.
Yeah, and now he's in the NFL, and he's
Doing fantastic.
gotten
with
himself a
Falcons.
couple picks.
Yeah,
Mhm.
he's doing good with the
No, Watts
Falcons
is
this
doing good
year.
with the Falcons. 'Cause
Yeah.
it's like the only thing good going for the Falcons.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's why we don't talk about those games.
Let's not forget Millard South just lost to Omaha Central this past week. Correct?
Did they?
Yeah, I think it was this past week. But they're still ranked number 1 in the Class A, so
Okay.
or in a statewide rank, I guess you could say.
Okay.
In Nebraska.
But yeah.
So they're still doing pretty good.
And then obviously Nebraska volleyball still on fire, 14-0. You go to Penn State, you sweep them. That first set was a crazy 25-6 victory in the first set. You go there, you sweep them, and then you just go to Rutgers, set the New Jersey attendance record for volleyball there. So
No,
Yeah.
hats off to all the teams doing well this week, and I can't wait for in 2 weeks doing this again.
And that is all the time we have for today. But until then, I'm Anthony Gianelli.
Josh J. Freshman
And hey, don't forget to check our podcast on YouTube, please. But until then, good night.